Welcome to the final of the Mad Max Mega Review series. Now we are going to take a look at the psychotic ballet of destruction and fire and blood that is the Mad Max Fury Road trailers.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
What's your name?
I never thought this day would come, but we are finally here. To say that this movie has had to struggle to get made is a huge understatement. This movie has been in the works for almost a decade now. Early days, Mel Gibson was going to come back and play Max, but then he Shia LaBeoufed his career, so it was pushed back. They were set to make it in the early 2000s, but then the Iraq War happened, so they figured a movie about people killing each other in the desert for oil might touch on a nerve for some people. It was pushed back again. Then the place where they were going to film, a desert that hasn't rained for about 20 years, suddenly got 20 years worth of rain in one go and became a swamp, and at one point the executives almost shut it down because it was over budget, but it was saved at the 11th hour. To get Mad Max Fury Road made has been as big of a battle for survival as the movie itself is portraying. But Mad Max will not die, and here we are, and it looks more Mad Maxy than ever before. We've got two-headed lizards, we've got giants with plastic face guards, we've got supermodels wearing chastity belts with teeth on them, Charlize Theron with a robot hand, we got a guy in a red cloak playing an electric guitar that doubles as a flamethrower on the back of a massive rig covered with loudspeakers, belting out a guitar solo while his gang just pillages and plunders all around him, and he has no face for some reason. Crazy, crazy stuff, and I am super psyched for it. And I've got some special news for you about this movie, something that you will not find anywhere else about this movie. Well, in truth, you probably could find it somewhere else if you wanted to go crawling through half of the internet to find all this stuff, but why would you? I've done it here for you. So let's break down the Fury Road trailers and see just how awesome this movie is going to be, because you know it's going to be awesome. First thing to take note of is this movie is set before the events of Road Warrior. Yes, it is not Mad Max 4, it is not a sequel to Thunderdome, it's actually sandwiched between the first Mad Max movie and the Road Warrior movie, which is why Max has his legendary V8 Interceptor again. Because in Road Warrior the car got blown up, that's why in Beyond Thunderdome he was driving a bunch of camels. So being set before Road Warrior, we get to see the V8 Interceptor again. And oh yeah, oh look at her. Ooh, isn't she the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? Oh, ooh, yeah. Oh, I would love to take her for a ride, if you know what I'm saying, No! She crashed in the first 5 seconds of the trailer. Ah well, we know that Max is going to have her back by the end of the movie because he had her in the Road Warrior. Probably not until the end of Fury Road though. I guess that's why he's riding around this dirt bike in the trailer. I'd also like to see if Tom Hardy is going to be wearing the leg brace that Max had during Road Warrior because he hurt his leg at the end of the first movie, or whether we're going to see Tom Hardy like adopt a little puppy that can become his dog in the Road Warrior movie. That is, until it was shot by one of the village people. And also, Charlize Theron, from what we can see in the trailer, as well as what is described in the story synopsis for this movie, she's driving a big rig oil tanker truck across the desert. Where is she going? Interesting, because you remember in the Road Warrior, the colonists had an oil refinery, but they didn't have a truck to haul the fuel. Is that maybe because Charlize Theron's truck was the truck that they were waiting for and that they were counting on to haul the gas out of there for them, but it never arrived because of the events of Fury Road? Could be, something to think think about, but I actually think it's really good that this movie is set before Road Warrior rather than being a sequel to Beyond Thunderdome, because Thunderdome showed civilization returning again, so if the movie was set after that, things would be even more civilized, and we don't want civilized in a Mad Max movie. We want insanity.
Everybody's gone out of their mind.
Anyway, this is the latest work from George Miller, who is an incredibly versatile director. Not only has he made all of the Mad Max movies, but he also made Happy Feet and Babe. He can make all types of movies, this guy. In fact, he was also going to make the Justice League Mortal movie that was going to come out in 2007, but of course it didn't happen. But a few actors that were going to be members of that Justice League, Miller has now put into the Fury Road movie. So let's take a quick look at the cast. Obviously, we got Tom Hardy as Max, and he's got the Aussie accent down good, and he also looks quite a lot like the young Mel Gibson did. Megan Gale, who would have been Wonder Woman, is playing a character called Valkyrie. I talk about that in more detail in my video with J-Raw. You can click right here if you want to see that specific part of that video. And we also have Hugh Keays-Byrne, the same actor who played Toe Cutter in the first Mad Max movie, is now returning to play a new character called Immortal Joe. No doubt that's why they have him wearing the mask, so that no one recognizes his face and says, oh, Toe Cutter's back from the dead. No, he's a different character. Plus, he was going to be Martian Manhunter. We got Nathan Jones as the lead henchman, a guy you might recognize from his wrestling in the WWE, or as the guy that Brad Pitt killed in the beginning of Troy. That's him. But here's where it gets very interesting indeed. Charlize Theron, we've all seen her in the trailers. Somewhat confusingly, according to Wikipedia, she is playing the main character in the movie. What? Surely Max has to be the main character, right? Well, it wouldn't be the first time Wikipedia got something wrong, but Charlize Theron's character's name is Furiosa. Furiosa, Fury, Fury Road. You see? Odds are this story is going to be just as much about her as it is about Mad Max. And that's not all. Originally, this movie was going to be filmed back-to-back with a sequel, which was going to be called Mad Max Furiosa. They didn't end up filming that, of course, because it was hard enough just to get this movie made, but regardless, this shows Charlize Theron's character is a huge part of this movie, and that they already have a script ready for a spin-off type of Mad Max film that's just about her. If this movie does well, and people like Charlize Theron's character, we could very well see a movie about her adventures in the wasteland after this. And I would love to see that, because that means, since this movie is set before Road Warrior, if she and Max go their separate ways at the end of the movie, we could get like a whole parallel story for Furiosa and of what she was doing during the events of the other movies. And I would love to see that. It'd be great to see a chick making her way through the wasteland. Now, if you've watched my previous videos in this mega review series, you'll remember that originally the Humongous, the villain from the Road Warrior, was going to be revealed as Goose, Max's best friend from the first movie, who got burned to a crisp, coming back as a villain that Max has to put down. But they shelved that idea because not enough people saw the first movie, so they wouldn't know who Goose is. But when I heard that Fury Road was set before Road Warrior, I figured if they were ever going to revive that idea, this would be the movie in which to do it. So naturally I thought Immortal Joe might be Goose reborn, and that under that mask he is all burned up. But then I remembered that Goose's hand was missing a couple of fingers, and Immortal Joe here has all his fingers, so I guess he can't be Goose. But there is a character called Imperator, so I'm betting that if anyone in this movie is going to be revealed as Goose, if they choose to use that reveal, it's going to be this guy. I don't know, I'm just grasping at straws here. I just really want to see Goose again, even though he's probably not going to be in the movie. I'm just saying, keep an eye out for anyone who's seriously burned and is missing some fingers, because that could be Goose. Maybe there'll be a little Easter egg hidden about him or something. So let's do some story speculation. As I stated in the previous videos in this series, what the apocalypse is in this post-apocalyptic franchise changes with each movie, no doubt being a reflection of the time that it's made in. So now in Fury Road, we have more of a global warming type of angle with the water running out.
The world is almost out of water.
Water. Now there's the water wars.
So in this film, water is as highly valued as fuel is. Later in the trailer, we see a huge water fountain built into the side of this mountain with a massive symbol cut into the rock. The same symbol that we see people being branded with, that we see on the vehicles of the gang, and on the chastity belt of the desert supermodels. No doubt this must be the symbol of this gang, and they control this water supply. They own these girls, and they've captured Max and taken him as a prisoner. Perhaps there's some kind of road cult that do seem to be worshipping the steering wheel. Immortal Joe being their leader, as the skull in the symbol resembles the skull mask that he himself wears. And no doubt this road cult, whatever it is, doesn't just value water and fuel, it collects beautiful women, and it takes prisoners like Max. For what purpose? I don't know. But when we see them burning into Max's back the description of him, stuff like good eyesight, genitals intact, heals fast, stuff like that. So they clearly view Max as property of some kind. But did you notice on his back also written Road Warrior? That's interesting because in the movie of the same name, Max is described as the Road Warrior by a different character in line with the movie's title. But this here shows that the term Road Warrior is actually a common expression in this world for people like Max that live on the road, that scavenge to survive, that do battle with other people on the road. They're called Road Warriors. So that's why he's labeled as that on his back, so everyone knows that's what he is.
And he's making another Mad Max, is that right?
Yes, he is, yeah.
What can you tell us about that you know?
Well, I can't tell you much about that, because I'd say about 6 or 8 years ago, we were going to do it together.
Yeah.
And we were looking at it. So, and I think he's really got his eyes on it's a pretty good story.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's more pure in a sense in that he's going to, maybe I won't say anything about what he's going to do because...
Sure. We'll just leave it at that.
But it's really cool, and I like that kid that Tom Hardy guy.
Oh yeah, he seems to be doing quite well.
No, he's interesting. He's a very interesting actor. Yeah, and
yeah.
He's like he reminds me of one of my sons a little bit.
Is that right?
But he's like but I had lunch with him, and he's a firecracker. This guy, so it'll be good.
Where was that? When was that?
Oh gosh, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago.
Yeah,
something like that.
That's great. Was he? Did he talk about any one of your films in particular? I always notice when young actors.
Well, he was already cast in that one, and he just wanted to check in.
Uh-huh.
And it was. I guess maybe he was like, "Is it okay?" I was like, "Fine, it's for sure. It's fine.
Yeah.
Have a ball. Knock yourself out. I got better things to do." Can't let him off the hook too easy.
Fury Road, not your road.
No. Yeah, and from what I know of that, and maybe I don't know much from like 8 years ago, it looked amazing.
Yeah.
Really amazing.
So I am super psyched for this movie when it comes out in May, and my only concern is that early test screenings of the movie apparently left audiences somewhat divided, so I am a little bit worried that it might be a bit like Watchmen, in the sense that the fans really love it, but general audiences are kind of confused. But that's kind of why I'm doing this video review series, to bring everyone up to speed on the franchise and to show my support. And if you are a fan, and especially if you're an Aussie fan like me, you must go out and see this movie when it opens and take all of your friends with you, because Mad Max is the only true homegrown Australian movie franchise that we have, other than Crocodile Dundee, of course.
He's got a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
But they're never going to make another one of those, and nor should they. But Mad Max still has some fuel left in the tank. See what I did there? If you haven't seen any of the other videos on the other movies in the franchise, you can click on any of them right here. But I might actually link something different in the corner here, because my buddy Billy T800, he's a huge Terminator fan, and a while back I challenged him to do a mega review of the Terminator franchise, and he accepted the challenge, and he's done the first 3 Terminators. Terminator Salvation should be coming out soon. So if you want to check out a mega review of the Terminator franchise in preparation for Terminator Genesis, you can click on this one in the corner to check that out. Maybe just a heads up though, if you're listening to it with like headphones or like earbuds that are right in your ears, maybe take them out and just listen to it on speaker, because there's a few moments where the sound goes low and then you turn it up high and then there's like a loud noise, so you don't want to like blow your ears out or anything. But apart from that, they're a fantastic series of videos, so check it out. I am Bandit, this is Bandit Incorporated, and until next time, I will see you guys in the comments.